I was kind of hopeful for WestWorld Season 3. After this first episode, I'm not anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, hiss and foes, welcome to the Culture Casino!
As a culture content creator, somebody whose job it is to talk about the things that we fight for every day in our war for pop culture, you look around and you see if there's a program, if there's a movie, if there's a book, if there's something that you can point your audience toward and say, this is what we expect from filmmaking, from television productions, from excellent writing in our literature. For the first season, I was able to do that for WestWorld. WestWorld was a beautiful piece of storytelling, well crafted from beginning to end, relying on some source material that it borrowed from extensively and did a wonderful job with. Then came season 2 last year. Last year it was absolutely terrible watching what they did to the story, what they did to the characters that we bought into. We had become invested in these characters. Boy, did they subvert our expectations there. In fact, they subverted our expectations so much and told the story in such a poor way that they were losing audience. In fact, a lot of the core audience was starting to drop out before the season even ended. Enter Season 3. I had high hopes. I think we all did, because we'd heard some stories that things were being retooled in a direction that would be very much akin to Season 1. When we open up with the first episode of Season 3, we're still in the same position we were at the end of Season 2, which is we have OP characters that we no longer are heavily invested in. So when Dolores Abernathy enters our screen and walks through her story at the beginning of this episode, or throughout this episode, we no longer are afraid for her. She's put in a position of being maybe vulnerable. Possibly she's been identified for what she is. This was an opportunity for us to feel something, to have some reservations about her future. But the problem was you were remembering the whole time, oh yeah, this is no big deal. This is a robot who's overpowered and is smarter than everybody and is stronger than everyone and will find a way to will win the day. That's hard to overcome. The introduction of the new characters gave us something new to follow along. And while there wasn't a lot of character development, because most of this was kind of this episode was all about showing you the outside world that this new story is going to take place in. And Gary at Nerdrotic actually mentioned when he was talking about it last night after we'd all watched it and wherever we were in the country, this is no longer WestWorld. It's now real world, only slightly in the future. And because we don't have a good timeline, from what I've read, it's the year 2058, but I'm not certain that that's true. 38 years in the future, if we have synthetic organisms like this, I will be surprised, because it's hard enough to craft them out of plastic and aluminum, and it's really impossible to power them, because of the power sources that we currently have and the direction that we're headed. We are decades and decades away from having sustained power supplies like that. But I digress. So it's supposedly, let's go with, it's the year 2058. We're not seeing a world that's dissimilar to now. We're seeing modern day San Francisco, Seattle, someplace like that. And it's fancy and it's pretty and slightly utopian at the same time, because of the new applications that are available to you to be a criminal or to be a courier or to do whatever it is that Paul's character is. I think the name is slipping my mind, but he's out there committing crimes. This is one of the new characters based on an app that he gets that gives him information on some gray area work that he's willing to do. You are slightly invested in his character because of the backstory that they present. Again, this is exposition. And you feel good for understanding where he's coming from and what would motivate him. But aside from that, the most interesting thing about the episode was the appearance by Marshawn Lynch. And I'm not really sure what the character's name is, but it was kind of fun. And then, of course, at the end of the episode, Dolores Abernathy does her overpowered thing. The not-so-surprise turn of events occurs, and we're now in a position where our overpowered, at this point, antagonist, I guess, she's now in possession of all of the tools that she needs to win the day, to beat the human race, to take over our world. And that's it. I want to talk about this without spoiling the episode, so I've given vague commentary here and there. But the thing that disturbed me the most was the end credits scene. And this is a storytelling tool that the show has used multiple times now, because it was popularized in the movies, I guess. But the mid-credits or end-credit scene, whatever you'd like to call it, you see Maeve's character appear on the screen, and what would appear to be Nazi Germany, of course, because we needed to turn the woke level of the show up to 11 from about 4. So I'm not sure why we decided to jump to this period of time. It would appear that she is back in the WestWorld, or one of the Delos parks, which I would imagine would be World War II. And my only other thought is that she's trapped inside the server or in the foundry somewhere. And I won't give away the balance of that mid-credit scene, but I'll say that was where I officially realized that this show is toast. I don't have hopes for it in the future. I'm saddened. I feel bad that I recommended this to a lot of people. I pushed family members and friends towards it, and pretty much anybody who would listen to me at the time. Anyway, what did you think? Did you think we found disappointment where we were hoping for improvement? I think so. Anyway, comment below. I'll be happy to read them. Take a couple of seconds to hit the like, and if you're not subscribed, please do. I promise I'll try to do better on these. It's going to be super frustrating for me because I did enjoy the program so much. But maybe I'll start to throw some spoilers in. Anyway, have a great day wherever you are. And remember, at Culture Casino, when the house wins, we all win. We didn't win this time.